Hello and welcome to SAS Junior Math. Today, we are going to be looking at corresponding angles. In our last video, we looked at vertically opposite angles. Now, let's look at this diagram here. As you can see that there are two parallel lines here, and there is a line that cuts these two parallel lines. The line that cuts these two parallel lines is called a transversal line. So a transversal line is that line that cuts a pair of parallel lines, or you can say a transversal line is that line that cuts two or more parallel lines. Now, when a transversal line cuts two or more parallel lines, these angles are formed, and the angles are vertically opposite angles, corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and interior angles on a transversal. So we are going to be looking at these 5 angles that can be formed from this image that you've seen here. But we've talked on vertically opposite angles. I discussed that in my last video, that when two angles intersect a vertex and they share the same vertex point, the angles that it forms is a vertically opposite angles. That is, since it shares this vertex, then this angle here is equal to the angle here, and this angle that is here, which is A, is equal to the angle that is here, that is B. So that is vertically opposite angles. The reason why you can see vertically opposite angles reappearing here is because, as you can see, that this line intersects and this line also intersects. So in this case, we have two lines intersecting. So that is why vertically opposite angles can still be formed from it. However, vertically opposite angles can be formed when two lines intersect. So you can find vertically opposite angles on this region, and you can also find vertically opposite angles on this region. So if I want to find my vertically opposite angles, I will say this is angle 3 equals angle 2 because they share the same vertex point, and the angle here is equal to the angle here. And also I can as well say angle 1 equals angle 4. Likewise, angle 5 equals angle 8, then angle 6 equals angle 7. So that is for vertically opposite angles, though I explained that explicitly in my previous video, and I gave we solved questions on that. So today we are going to be looking at corresponding angles. So how can we identify a corresponding angles? Now let's look at this diagram again. As you can see, the transversal line cuts two parallel lines here. Now, how we can spot from the word corresponding, when something corresponds, it means it goes in line, something like that. So let's look at corresponding angles here. As you can see, that from the angles formed, angle 2 is having the same position, or it's on the same position as angle 6. Angle 4 is on the same position as angle 8. Angle 1 is on the same position as angle 5. Then angle 3 is on the same position as angle 7. So from this, we can say that they are all corresponding angles. So if I want to spell out my corresponding angles now, I can say that angle 1 equals angle 5, angle 2 equals angle 6, angle 3 equals angle 7, and as well angle 4 equals angle 8. So as you can see that they all match, they all follow or correspond the same way in the same position on each pair of intersecting lines. Now, angle 2, you see, they go in line because it is the same position as angle 6. Angle 4 goes in line with angle 8. Angle 1 goes in line with angle 3, and angle 1 goes in line with angle 5, then angle 3 goes in line with angle 7. So that is what? Corresponding angles. Then from there, we quickly look at the questions below. The question says that find the unknown angles below. So we have angle 120 degrees, we have A, we have C, we have B, D, E, F, and G. So from all what we can see here, the only known angle here is angle 120 degrees. So we have to look for the rest of the angles. Now, we are going to be flexible here. There are many ways to catch a rat. So I may use a method, a way, and of which you may see it in another way. There are different ways at which we can, and time may not permit us to just look at every, but I will try as much as possible to see what I can do in such a way we can find other ways of solving it. Now let's look at this. As you can see, if I want to start, I can start by saying, at first, I can see that 120 degree is vertically opposite. That is, it shares the same vertex with angle C. So I can start by saying C equals 120 degrees. Reason, vertically opposite angles. So my C now is what? 120 degrees. Now that my C is 120 degrees, I can as well find my value of A. I know that A and 120, they are on a straight line. So I can as well find the value of A by knowing fully well that angles on a straight line equals 180 degrees. And they both form what is called supplementary angles. So I can start by saying A plus 120 degrees equals 180 degrees. Reason, angles on a straight line. Please, the form of arrangement does not matter rather. If you like, you can start from A, you can start with A, the way you can start the work, and of which you can see the most easiest part to start with. I think that's best, because at times, not in all cases though, but at times if you want to start by solving A, you may not easily start with A. You have to start with a letter, and of which that letter will make you end up by what? By solving the unknown, which is A. But in this case, I can start with letter C, and I can also start with letter A, whichever way it is. It doesn't really matter. What matters is make sure that you get the right answers, you get the right angles in the right way. So I would say this is A equals 180 degrees minus 120 degrees. So my A equals 60 degrees. Let's not forget that this is carrying a positive 120. Once it passes through the equality sign, it changes to negative. So this is A equals 180 minus what? 120, and my A is 60 degrees. So my A is 60 degrees. Now, having known that my A is 60 degrees, let's not forget that this is a vertex line, this vertex point, this angle shares these angles. So I will say B equals what? 60 degrees. Reason, vertically opposite angles. So my B is 60 degrees. Aha. So I believe everything is making sense bit by bit. Now we have found angle A, we have found angle C, we have also found angle B. Now what we need to do now is to find angle D, E, F, and G. So how do we do that? Very simple. Now I've found the angles here. So I can as well start by using the corresponding angles. I know that this position of A is exactly the same position as E. So I will say E equals 60 degrees. Reason, corresponding angles. So which means since A and E are on the same position, then they are corresponding. Then also, I will say G equals 120 degrees. Reason, corresponding angles. So since letter C and letter G are on the same position, so they are corresponding to themselves. So also D is also equals what? Let's watch. This angle 120 and it's the same position. It lies on the same position with angle D. So angle D is what? 120 degrees. Reason? Corresponding angles. So this is 120 degrees because they lie on the same position. And B with F. So I will say F is also what? 60 degrees. Reason? Corresponding angle. So my F here is 60 degrees. And that is how we can get the letters from A to G. I hope you can get or have a grasp on this. See you in my next video. Thank you.